Tough to see how far the once great Pixar Studios has fallen. I remember when Toy Story came out, man. Like, I think that might be the earliest instance that I can have at least a little bit of a memory of going to the theaters and seeing Toy Story there. I remember the big claw machine on a big screen. I might be totally making this up because I was 4 at the time, and that was a long ass time ago. But Pixar, for the longest time, had a track record of excellence, and now Disney Studios poised to cut jobs, a number undecided according to a source. Yeah, it's going to get real bad here real quick for all of these studios under the Disney umbrella. Good job on doubling down on your ideological endeavors, and definitely didn't have knock-on effects. Pixar Animation Studios is set to cut jobs as the studio has completed production on some shows and now has more staff than it needs. A source familiar with the situation told Reuters on Thursday. Interesting. So they're done putting out some of their work, okay? Some of their work that they couldn't hire people fast enough for, back in the halcyon days of 2019 and 2018. Now, well, we just don't have the money because our films are performing worth shit at the theaters now, so we're just going to have to make, some severe cuts. TechCrunch reported earlier that Pixar was set to undergo layoffs as high as 20% this year, with the studio's team of 1,300 people reduced to under 1,000 over the coming months. Yo, that's crazy. Theoretically, there could be a lot of talent out there, but if they're doing this right, there's going to be a lot of gender studies graduates and human resources degrees that are going to be out there permeating the local Starbucks very soon. Pixar's Emeryville Studios in California had hired staff to complete streaming series, and as those shows complete production, it has more staff than it needs, a source added. Oh, great. So you're going to be spending a bunch of money on a streaming service that is losing how many billions of dollars a quarter? Interesting. Disney CEO Bob Iger. Oh, Bobby. Was brought back in 2022 to turn the company around. Hasn't done that at all. Last June, Pixar eliminated 75 positions, including those of 2 executives behind box office disappointment. Well, that's one way that you can refer to Lightyear. There's no strange world, but it still ended up losing a whole lot of money for Disney. We have Variety here picking up where the Reuters left off. Pixar expects to make layoffs in the second half of 2024. Yeah, big style. Pixar is set to lay off an undetermined number of staffers in the back half of 2024. Variety has confirmed the TechCrunch article that came out a little while ago. Discussions surrounding layoffs are beginning now as production wraps on multiple series. Which ones are those? We don't know. Okay, Pixar's upcoming film slate includes Inside Out 2 in 2024, Elio in 2025, and 2 untitled films set for 2026. Well, what's the streaming show that they're theoretically working on? Disney reached a goal of 7,000 layoffs last May. Oh, congratulations, 7,000 more people are out of work. I'm sure that they were probably, skilled, principled individuals, and you kept all the ideologues on and wondering, where's all the money going? And eventually the number pink slipped by the company topped 8,000. Holy. Those eliminations focused most heavily on the media division, including the not yet profitable streamer Disney Plus, which Bob Iger hilariously said, by the end of 2024, it's going to be turning a profit. Well, guess what? We ain't even close to that. It is still hemorrhaging subscribers, and I'm sure it's only a matter of time before you roll it into your newest acquisition in Hulu, but only time will tell on that one. And left the parks largely untouched ahead of the summer. Makes sense. Disney's layoffs in 2023, which represented around 3.6% of the total headcount of approximately 220,000 worldwide employees as of October 1st, 2022, are part of a media conglomerate's efforts to achieve about $5.5 billion in cost savings. Of that, $2.5 billion represents non-content costs, including labor costs. Disney is aiming for an annualized reduction of $3 billion in non-sports content costs. Interesting, because, okay, if you were paying attention to some of the NFL playoff numbers that came out recently, live sports is about the only thing that draws eyeballs on network television, and that's, unfortunately, like it or not, that's still how a lot of these media conglomerates end up paying the bills, these lucrative contracts, licensing out all of their films and shows. Used to be a very lucrative business model. There was a reason that Turner, the Turner company, TNT, TBS, True TV, would always have reruns of old Disney shows, or hell, I think there's still a contract in place for them to play, Star Wars films, some of the Lucas ones. incrementally throughout the year. That used to be the way forward when there wasn't these streaming services. And now, when as Disney was caught up in 2023 and getting exposed over, they're paying themselves in order to license their own content for it to go up on that unprofitable Disney Plus streaming service. So it's basically a big shell game that you're just being nobody gets hip to, but oopsie daisy. The bloom has very much fallen off the rose, and well, all of the petals are now tinder. And it's so bad for Disney, right? Like, for as much as I bigged up live sports for, driving the market when it comes to profitability, at least on the entertainment side of things, ESPN last year went through huge layoffs, hundreds of employees. And that, well, now it's washing up on Pixar shores, because for all of the problems that ESPN had, Pixar definitely ended up getting bitten by that bug, as emblematic of, well, the picture that Variety, I don't know, intentionally or unintentionally decided to use right there. But if you take a look at, the box office returns from Pixar, they were just critically and commercially approved. These were some of the best performing films of all time, right? Like, you take a look at the hits that they had, Monsters, Inc., not even to mention, the first two Toy Stories, Finding Nemo, Up, I was a little out by then, Toy Story 3. That was a big one, making over $1 billion. But Finding Nemo almost making $1 billion back in 2003. I remember that movie being big. I remember watching it, but not being all that, enthusiastic about that. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, back at the height of Disney, when they could do no wrong in 2016, 2018, 2019. But you should have known that something was wrong when you had the Finding Nemo sequel with a twice as large budget barely make $100 million more 13 years on. Yeah, that should have been a troubling sign. And then also, Toy Story 4 making $4 million more. I mean, the writing was on the wall, but the cultural rot didn't really start to set in until about, 2020, when everybody had nothing to do except for sit at home and experience the brand new Disney Plus service, to realize that, wow, this shit that they're putting out really sucks, man. Okay, Soul, which actually, it finally got its first theatrical release, and boy, howdy, has that thing flopped tremendously. I don't know if it was a gimmick to just go out over Martin Luther King long weekend, but take a look at that. $120,000 in 1,350 theaters. What the hell, man? I thought this was like a glitch or something, that they weren't reporting stuff on time, but $90 a cinema? I mean, I get it. It's a film that's just a couple of years old, but I thought that this was one of the good ones that Pixar put out. I thought it was really good. And Luca, I hear that some people like it, but it never got a formal release. It just ended up costing who knows how much money in order to just simply be shat out on Disney Plus. But Turning Red, oh my God, what a disaster that was. We know all about Elemental, we know all about Lightyear, but Turning Red, that's when everybody was like, Disney, what the hell are you doing? Okay, like looking at the box office, okay, Turning Red did not see a traditional theatrical release in most markets and was released on Disney Plus streaming service. As of September 2022, Turning Red has earned $20 million outside the United States and Canada. It has earned $3.8 million from 12 international markets. Saudi Arabia chipped in, Habibi, $920,000, Poland $430,000, and the UAE, Habibi, $420,000. It earned $2.8 million in its second weekend, $1.7 million in its third, and the film ranked as first on the list of the biggest money losers based on absolute loss on worldwide earnings, according to the numbers. It's been a long time since Pixar has had anything sniffing a hit. It would be 2019, the last time that Disney was the well-oiled machine that we've seen right there. But as we can see, once again, this is yet another example of Disney not learning from their mistakes or their successes and ending up reaping what they sowed years later, at a time when everything under their control, ESPN, Fox, their own proprietary animation studios, Marvel, Lucasfilm, are all going up in flames. But to be fair, couldn't happen to a better studio. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.